Welcome back, Wolfpack. Verlis here, and what's happening is I'm streaming over on Kick, and if you subscribe, we work together with the community to make crazy movesets for any Pokemon you want. Please don't choose legendaries, but you're giving me money, so I kind of have no choice. And the community has cooked on some of these movesets. So we got Godzilla Freak, who was just like, what about Araquanid? Water Bubble's, like, incredible, right? And it is! And we know this, but where's Araquanid? Really, it came down to its speed is kind of unusable, but if you go Choice Band Liquidation, you destroy everything, and even with the 68 hit points, you just max that. Like, that's what the speed is nothing for. So you actually have a 92 defense, 132 special defense Pokemon. This thing had 30 more base hit points. It's actually a Gen 9 Pokemon, because that's comparable to Garganasalt, especially with its multi-ability, where, oh yeah, it also just has a fire resist, and it can't be burned, and it does double water damage. So it was like proto power creep, but Game Freak just didn't push it enough, and really it sucks outside of everything else, because, yeah, 70 attack ain't great. So what do the numbers look like? Well, Calyrex just gets like Giga one-shot, and we survive a +1 Astral Barrage. Now, it has to be, like, Timid Choice Scarf, but the weird thing about how broken this game is, Focus Sash is 42%, which is no damage like a Choice Scarf, so hopefully the Pokemon that died to it did a little bit of damage. And then it's 24% Scarf. Now, you're probably thinking, well, yeah, that's going to be with the 25% Modest. No! It's 90% Timid! So there's actually a 1 in 4 chance, or like close to the 1 in 5 chance. That's actually, yeah, that's a Choice Scarf Calyrex that's timid, that can't one-shot you, even on +1. And it also means +1 is effectively Choice Specs, and you don't lose to it, and you just beat it. So, yeah, it's got something with that 132 special defense, and it's not supposed to be playing against legendaries. Where was this Pokemon in Regulation 8? It was getting outsped by Blood Moon Ursaluna power creep and some other nonsense, but like, it works. It actually KO things. It passes the Silvally damage check. So let's go and see that. We're like, yeah, you just toss in Silvally, you drop this down to the appropriate level, and it one-shot Silvally. It can just take out anything that it wants, and it's a good trade Pokemon. That's all it can do. You know, we talk about 1-for-1+, we try to find some movesets for Pokemon, and really, this thing can just 1-for-1 as the ultimate revenge, where, hey, if it comes down a super effective hit, that's like Water Bubble. Maybe it takes a hit and Leech Lifes and then does a thing. Also, the Mirror Coat, kind of cheeky, because, yeah, you can take, like, a huge special attack, and then you just one-shot something. So, like, this just has options to deal with everything. And it works out really well, but that's it. Because then next Pokemon that's coming in, it's outspeeding you, it's finishing you off because you're at 20% from just surviving a crazy hit. But hey, you got the 1-for-1 kill, and you took out the opponent's biggest threat. Now this whole minus special, minus speed thing is because we extra cooked that someone's running like Carbink in doubles with Araquanid for the Trick Room. But what about singles Trick Room? Like, that's always been niche viable. You can always do it. Oh, another really funny thing about Araquanid, this is all level up. So it's actually the easiest Pokemon to train. You catch it in the Blueberry Academy, and then all you have to do is give Crunch. Like, you just auto-learn Crunch with the move relearner, and then it's done. Like, EVs, bottle caps, Choice Band, which you can buy now, and it's just done. So in a world where not 98% of players are cheating Pokemon, this would actually be a very desirable Pokemon because it's instant. It takes several minutes, less than 10. And what reminded me of that is that the Carbink was also really easy to train because you're not doing anything else. You have Sturdy, so you really don't need to put in the hit points. You're not trying to survive anything. I guess Mold Breaker. It's like you do want to max out the hit points for Mold Breaker, but this is more funny, where you have incomplete EVs and it's still as successful, and you have an incomplete moveset and it's as successful. Mincelur, because the meta is Taunt. The meta is Encore. The meta is just that kind of filth. But you just go Trick Room, Misty Explosion. 50 special attack doesn't matter. The point is you're out of the way to give Araquanid as much Trick Room sweeping as possible. Also, I wanted to do something really funny where, you know what you can always do? Just Final Gambit Excelgor. So instead of using Carbink as a Trick Room lead, use it as a backup, where you just go, okay, Final Gambit Excelgor, Carbink does Trick Room Misty Explosion, and now Araquanid only has to deal with 2 Pokemon. And then it just gets to do whatever it wants. You also get to like see the opponent's Pokemon and the responses, and then you can kind of make better decisions. But also having a Pokemon to back up the Araquanid, because you get to choose something else. That's kind of neat. That's pretty good. But overall, it was just like the revelation of, oh, Araquanid one-shots legendaries neutral, and it can also survive powerful hits from legendaries just fine. And also has an old school gimmick setup kind of thing. 3v3 Battle Stadium, Trick Room is viable. Now you can get like set up on and it goes really bad, but this seems like alright. I understand it not working in Generation 8 because Dynamax kind of messed everything up, but maybe see a little bit more Araquanid as like the ultimate revenge. Like this choice band actually works and it survives even against sweepers, which some, if not a lot of revenge Pokemon have a problem with. Like, oh, they have +1 or they have Scarf. My revenge actually doesn't work here. Oopsie doodle, we lose. But this can just kind of tank. So that's really nice. And then some doubles experimentation kind of came from that, where you go Assault Vest with Reflect from a Dragapult, and then you just kind of tank things really well. And Infiltrator means that they can't really do much against a Dragapult. Surf for the Water Absorb, and then you have like Leech Life or Lunge or Coverage, and then you're just doing all right, I guess. And then you're hitting things and disabling things. Like, it's not serious, but once again, like, hey, this could have been cute in a Generation 8 with no Dynamax, and this could have maybe even worked. Who knows? We got some more Pokemon to talk about, because Farigiraf from Super Piece, where I got absolutely annihilated by a Farigiraf in the early days of Battle Stadium. Now, I don't remember its item, but it went Terra Fighting, and then we just kind of lost. So at least the Pokemon is viable, and it works really well as a not taunt Encore anti-tank, where you can just beat people up with it, and it goes pretty well. But also, if Pokemon is really low usage and just seems to not exist at all, then that means whatever it's trying to run isn't working for the most part. That there is like a lot of meta issues where Pokemon can be sleeper in lower quote-unquote tiers. I don't respect Smogon tiers, but like lower usage doesn't mean anything about the Pokemon's overall viability. But there's no innovation. There's actually only Japanese players, so whatever they decide goes for the meta, and then no one in America or no English players are playing, since that's like 2% of the population. So you're never going to see like true developments inside the game outside of this channel, which is why you like, comment, subscribe on YouTube, and then subscribe on Kick, and then we find something crazy. But overall, the philosophy is, well, if it's not working, you need to find something else. So what about the Uno reverse of, let's play honest for Farigiraf? You actually go timid. You use a timid max speed 60 Pokemon. Why? Because the game is that ugly. You actually outspeed Breloom, even at level 50. So let's drop this down to level 50, since we're seeing it on the Battle Stadium. 122, 123. And all the Breloom are running Adamant. So Twin Beam actually antis the Breloom, and in a non-legendary format, there's actually a decent amount of Breloom. That also might have been why I saw it in Season 1 Scarlet and Violet, and it wrecked me, because it was also wrecking Breloom. Because now you like break through the sash or one-shot, and there's no problems whatsoever. It has Armor Tail, which is also really nice, where you just don't have to worry about priority. So a Sucker Punch isn't going to catch you off guard. You actually get to play the game. Now, 110 special attack is terrible, especially in like modern power creep, but like you just go specs whatever, and it hurts. And like the Shadow Ball Terra Ghost gives you that extra option into Ghost type Pokemon for the KO that are just common enough. Check that out. You actually KO Fluttermane once you go Terra Ghost, and it's not using the Shadow Ball on you because you're a normal type Pokemon. And it's not, there's no way it's predicting the Terra Ghost, right? So you do that, and you can actually get through its crazy special defense. There's also another idea that maybe works with the Throat Spray. So, like, yeah, if you just get a Hyper Voice opportunity, then you get your +1, and you can change your moves around, which is also really nice. Oh, yeah, also the Terra Ghost is for Golden Go, since that's super common. You can't really do anything with Twin Beam, Grass Knot, Hyper Voice. But yeah, being able to hit Golden Go with the Shadow Ball, also really nice. And while Specs does carry its risk, it just kind of shows like, hey, you need to find a way to one-shot something, and that's going to be the best way to play. And unless they bring in an immunity, Choice Specs is still going to really hurt if you get it off. So you have good options here with the Farigiraf. And that brings us to the last moveset request from Rune Relations, where he wanted Jolteon to work. Problem. It's Generation 9 Jolteon. It gets Calm Mind now, but you know what Pokemon just exists? Regieleki. And just every other special attacker. Maybe if Flutter Mane didn't exist, maybe if Iron Bundle didn't exist and we just didn't get all of this crazy creep. I mean, who even cares about physical special anymore when Qin Pao exists and just one-shots the Jolteon? So this doesn't hold up. It used to be like, oh yeah, Jolteon can survive an Alakazam hit with that 95 special defense, so the 65 hit points ain't so bad. Like, it used to be specially bulky to survive, which maybe does something on the Calm Mind. Not in modern Pokemon, you can't do anything. And it actually has a luring voice now. So instead of just being Thunderbolt, Shadow Ball, Focus Sash, good luck, have fun, you have a luring voice, which is actually pretty nice to have as tech. So once again, if a Pokemon has no usage or it's actually just unviable, then you gotta go off the main path. You gotta think about, okay, so all the straightforward ideas about the Pokemon aren't working. What about other things? Well, if you max out 65 hit points, you at least don't die immediately. And if you're going Quick Feet Jolteon, like what's Quick Feet doing on a 130 speed Pokemon? You actually need that now. So you go Protect, Quick Feet, Flame Orb activates, you're kind of frail, so it doesn't really matter, and then you're mostly just kind of using these extra EVs to maybe not immediately lose to Flame Orb, and then this is actually just going to outspeed a lot. So you can do that, and if you're getting Special Attacker, you kind of win. Calm Mind, Wish Protect. Calm Mind, Wish Protect. Or, yeah, just do that against the Special Attacker, and then eventually the Thunderbolt just KOs things, and you're allowed to get away with Modest, so you're online sooner. That's kind of the only idea. Then you have to start looking at, okay, what does this Pokemon get that no other Pokemon get? Well, there's all kinds of Calm Mind, Baton Passers out there. I mean, Espathra, you just want Speed Boost, Calm Mind, Baton Pass. That's just going to be better. So it's, once again, like, you need to come in as Special Attacker. But if you do, you can Calm Mind, Baton Passes with a Wish. So fast Pokemon, like, you actually have less counterplay against it. It's like a soft speed boost, and then eventually, like, yeah, you Wish Baton Pass, Pokemon coming in takes a hit, but then its wish comes true. So it comes in on just Calm Minds for free, as if you were using a slower Baton Pass strategy. So the only other thing that, like, Jolteon kind of gets that's interesting is Yawn. It's the fastest Yawn Pokemon. I bet you didn't know Jolteon had anything other Pokemon don't. Like, Jolteon is actually best as the fastest Yawn Pokemon. You know what that accomplishes? Literally nothing. Because that's not what Yawn is for. But it exists. Like, Yawn Protect Jolteon, since you can play those mind games with, like, Thunderbolt Alluring Voice. Maybe. What else do we got? We got Endure. Now, problem. Like, and also a huge problem with Jolteon is, like, 130 speed doesn't work anymore because Flutter Mane, Iron Bundle, Qin Pao. And also Spectrier. And just other creep. So if you want speed and special sweeping, I just listed every other Pokemon that's better, and there's probably even more than that, because some Power Crept, Scarf, Overcharge, Special Attack Pokemon does it just as good as well. So the idea here is, like, yeah, against Special Attacker, you outspeed it. Most Special Attackers, you outspeed it, you Calm Mind, you don't take damage, you endure Patea Berry, and now you're just +2. You're double damage on Thunderbolt, Alluring Voice. Maybe the Terra Fairy to push the damage. And then you also have Volabsorb, so if you have Electric Weakness, you could switch it in. It has the immunity. That's cool. And now you Revenge Cleanup into very specific stuff. You take out all their super fast Pokemon, you don't die to a physical attacker, and then you win the game with Patea Berry Jolteon. It's that easy. And then the other thing is, like, okay, does it do anything else that other people don't do? 130 speed with Quick Feet actually isn't crazy, because guess what? Iron Bundle's running Booster Energy for Speed Boost. So it's just going to be faster than 130 speed. Now, I guess you kind of aren't in the worst situation against it with your 95 special defense. So this isn't going to be the fastest thing in the game, but it's going to be like the third fastest thing in the game. And also, none of these movesets are actually for Regulation I. This is, can the Pokemon be viable in honest Pokemon battling? Maybe. So the idea is Protect, Quick Feet, and now we're not playing for damage. We're just playing to be untouchable or chip away the opponent at crazy high speed. So Volt Switch, Switch moves, I've always considered them terrible. But if you make that a part of your strategy where you go, alright, Protect, I'm faster, Volt Switch, I now get the advantage into a team that's built around this, then maybe it's alright. So you can go Mienshao, has Regenerator. So you switch in the Mienshao, it takes the hit, and then you can go fake out U-turn, and then regenerator it back up. You have the assault vest. However, it doesn't like physical hits, but you know what doesn't care about those? Incineroar. So you come into Incineroar with the Intimidate, and then you're just super bulky. You do the same thing, fake out U-turn, or fake out Parting Shot back into the Jolteon, or the Mienshao. It's like, you kind of just rotate through your team. It's mostly like you go Jolteon, Protect, Quick Feet, Volt Switch, into the Incineroar, fake out Parting Shot, into the Mienshao. That's when you go fake out, like, or Drain Punch, because they have no damage, and then you U-turn back into the Jolteon to Volt Switch, or you get the Finishing Blow. Because Jolteon's kind of your sweeper here. That, hopefully, after a Volt Switch, fake out U-turn, they just die to a Thunderbolt or an Alluring Voice. Their next Pokemon comes in, and then you rinse repeat. So if this existed, again, in non-Dynamax Gen 8, or it actually did exist in Generation 7, and no one used it. This is Shadow Ball instead of Alluring Voice. And these, like, you don't have Ice Spinner, but you go Ice Punch or any other. It actually has a lot of moves you can use. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. There's a lot of moves you can use. It's fine with this. So you actually use this in Generation 7, and this might have been a disgusting Battle Stadium singles team that has no counterplay. What's the counterplay here? I don't think there is any. And I'm trying to think, like, is there other things you want to do on the Mienshao? Because, again, the Assault Vest is to buy more Regenerator stuff. And it could just be this is better once you go through all the numbers. It's like, oh yeah, I actually take 60% from a physical hit. But also that's why you do it after the Incineroar, because the Intimidate kind of being like an Assault Vest. So there's a little bit of tuning here. But this might be the best way of making Jolteon viable as, like, the fastest Volt Switch electric Pokemon that has finishing damage. And then you run singles, fake out, Parting Shot, fake out, Parting Shot, fake out, Parting Shot, fake out, Parting Shot, Incineroar, next to another Pokemon that kind of does annoying stuff. My only issue with this is that Cyclizar didn't work. I thought Cyclizar was going to be like a really nice hit and run Pokemon, because you go Eject Pack with something like a Draco Meteor or an Overheat, and then you auto proc the Regenerator into really high base damage. Like, that's stab Draco Meteor. Even at 85 special, it's fine. It also has 121 speed. So, like, once again, this Pokemon's really hard to outspeed in a normal functioning game. But this 70, 65, 65, it's actually too frail. I thought there'd be, like, durability advantage over Mienshao, but actually no. And it doesn't get the fake out. So, yeah, this didn't work at all for Generation 9. That was just a waste of resources. For the Mienshao, on the other hand, this might actually be a team. And it might have actually worked in Regulation H or something. But there we go, guys. That's some Pokemon we cooked up. So if you actually want to make insane Pokemon movesets, head on over to Kick. Subscribe. Hope you guys enjoy the video. Hope you guys have a nice day. See you then. See you there. I don't know.